Hello, hello. In today's special episode, Narratives of Generosity, we are embarking on a captivating journey with Daniel from Tanzania and Mwenya from South Africa. We are about to explore My Giving Story competition, a platform where every tale is not just a story, but a spark that ignites hope and inspires action. Join us today as we explore the profound impact of this platform and discover how it is causing change across the continent. Let us turn the pages of generosity together right here on the Ubuntu Giving podcast. Welcome, everyone, to the Ubuntu Giving podcast, a podcast where every story shines a light on the power of generosity. And welcome to our special episode on narrative of generosity. Today, we are talking about my giving story competition, and I'm so excited to introduce our esteemed guest, Daniel, who is the country lead of Giving Tuesday Tanzania, and Mwenya, who is also the country co-lead of Giving Tuesday South Africa. So you guys say hi to our audience, please.
Hi, Omo, it's wonderful to be
Hello.
here.
Yeah, it's great. It's wonderful. Yeah, yeah,
I know. Okay. So let's move on because we intend I intend to also have a lot of fun while we're having this discussion. So
yeah.
before we go any further, let's reflect on our own cultures. I'm gonna cue you both in when once it's time. Take a moment to think about all your acts of generosity for the year and please pick a number. So, Mwenya, pick a number. You get to answer two questions between 1 to 21.
1 to 21. Okay, I'm gonna start with my birthday, 6.
Okay. 6.
Yeah.
What have you received, right, that really resonated with you and share that as a major highlight this year?
In general, like personally, or in my capacity of working?
I'm interested in your personal life, Monia.
Okay. Well, recently I literally just received a vintage Polaroid camera, which I absolutely love because I love cameras. And so, yeah, I was gifted, like, and it comes out. So, Daniel, because you're older than me, you'll remember when our parents used to like have those cameras and the picture would come out immediately. So I got a vintage one. So yeah, that was really, that's a special gift that I got recently. That's a
That
highlight
is
for this
so
year.
sweet.
I know, right? Thank you to
Right.
the person. Thank you. Okay. Do I go
Okay,
again?
so no,
Or is
no,
it
no.
Daniel's turn? Okay,
It's
sorry, I
Daniel's
got
turn, and then we
excited.
come
I
back
got
again.
excited.
Yeah.
You're gonna pick another number, but let's give Daniel a chance. So Daniel, pick a
Perfect.
number, and then we go back to Monia.
Because Mwenya went for her birthday, I can go with my birthday also. But I'm not sure
Okay.
if I'm very old than Mwenya. So I pick 12.
Okay, let's do 12.
Yeah,
So
12 is
Daniel,
my birth date. Yeah.
oh, that is so sweet. If you could
Yeah.
thank one person for their generosity this year, who would it be and why?
Only one person.
Looks like you have a lot of people to thank, but let's start with one person.
So the person who has done generosity to me. Yeah.
Yes,
Then,
yes.
then, then for that, I think I'll have to go with my mom.
Oh,
She's one of the best generous women out there, and to me personally, she's my icon, my role model. She has been there, thick and thin in my struggles, my work, my personal life, and she has contributed a lot to who I am today. So shout
that's
out to her,
beautiful.
wherever she is, and
That's very beautiful.
I would like to say I love her very much.
Ah,
Yeah.
Daniel, you're
Wow.
scoring so many points right now. That's
Guys, if you can
beautiful.
hear this, Daniel
If you
Yeah.
can
loves
hear
you.
this, oh my word. Daniel, do you know the song Mama by Boys to Men?
No.
Okay, well, Bidemi should play it at the
Yeah,
background of
yeah,
this
yeah,
thing, and then yeah, it's a song
yeah.
that's actually dedicated to mothers.
Wow, wow, nice.
Okay, Mwenya, this is your last question, so pick a number.
Ooh, okay, I'm gonna go for 21.
Okay. Describe a time this year when giving back gave you joy and happiness.
Ooh, that's a very good question. Um, Only one time?
You guys. No, I'm loving this. It looks like you've had a great year, but pick
Only
one.
one time? I think the first one that comes to mind is during Mandela Week. We were fortunate as Giving Tuesday South Africa to participate with Rise Against Hunger and really pack the bags for the food that will go and assist those that Rise Against Hunger helps against. So Rise Against Hunger is an organization that aids to eradicate hunger within South Africa and I think a little bit across Africa. And so that's what we did for our activation. We packed the bags, and it was really interesting to hear the background in the beginning. It was a fun activity, absolutely, but it was interesting to hear the background in the beginning where our MC was really telling us that these bags actually go to actual humans who don't have anything, and by you just pouring and giving your time to assist in packing the bags, you are actually helping. And we understand the impact of hunger not only in South Africa, but across Africa, across the world, and how that is a serious is a serious issue. So just to be a part of it for an hour or two was really impactful to us. So yeah, I think that's the first one
Love
that I could
it.
think of. Yeah.
Okay. Daniel, pick a number.
Oh, Mwenya, that was interesting. I will go with one, two, three.
Oh,
Yeah,
three.
three.
Okay. I thought you meant one, two, and three. Okay, three. So the question is, how do you feel about helping others? How do you feel?
Wow. Apart from, I'm trying to find a word which is which can compile all the feelings you feel when you help others, or when you help someone. Apart from feeling good, that there's this internal feeling you get when someone says thank you, and at some point when you see the value you had given, and at some point you may just do it as just something that you always do, but to the person now you give, it's invaluable, and it's very beautiful, and you feel fantastic, and it's good. It's good. You feel good, and you feel like you're part of something big, and you feel like you have contributed to positively to someone else's life. So yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, this segment is over, but we're still talking about generosity. Okay, moving on, guys. We're talking about my giving story
Yeah.
competition, and this is the reason why you both are on this podcast because Daniel, you successfully ran or facilitated my giving story this year. When you're in South Africa, you are currently doing yours, and I feel like this podcast will help inspire other people to be a part of my giving story or to take up my giving story themselves in their own communities and countries. So let's touch on the influence of personal narratives on philanthropy in South Africa. And Monia, I know this is for you. Storytelling is a powerful tool, right? It shapes
Absolutely.
perspectives, right? It's driving action. So reflecting on your own journey, with Giving Tuesday South Africa, can you share how personal stories have stirred the cause and amplified the impact of generosity within your country?
You said it perfectly. Stories just really are everything, and I think in our experience, how personal stories and narratives shape, my giving stories, we actually realized that we're not alone in any of these situations. When you actually hear about the stories and hear about what people have been doing throughout the year, um, on their own capacity, on their own accord, you understand how personal giving actually is to everyone within South Africa, and how the little that everyone does in their own community, in their own capacity, is quite powerful. And so I think it's important to understand that everyone's personal narrative shapes how they give.
Mm.
Um, the background, your story, your growing up shapes how you will give. I know people who have organizations because of menstrual cycles, because they know in their family there was someone who couldn't go to school because of that. I know people who give to homelessness because they know that that's something that they're passionate about to eradicate within South Africa. So I think personal narratives shape how you give. When you have your own story, and all of us do, all three of us here today do, but when you have your own story, it shapes how you want to give. And in South Africa, we've seen that a lot. The story that someone has behind the scenes shapes how the giving is. And even when it comes to the my giving story, we've even seen previously in the first round how whether it be celebrities and huge influencers and even small people, how their stories have shaped how they give as well and why they give in that particular chord. So I think without personal narrative, there really isn't. That's how it drives the direction of giving.
Absolutely. I'm moving over to Daniel. Daniel, are you with me? Let's touch on the fact that you are a product of my giving story too. So could you take us back to the beginning? Share with us your own giving story, how you discovered the competition and how this has led, it has shaped your path to becoming a key figure within Giving Tuesday, the movement, and in Tanzania.
Interesting. So, once upon a time, yeah, uh, in my life, I've been, volunteering in several, activities, initiatives. And when I was in my advanced secondary school, it was in Arusha here in Tanzania. I was in this club called FEMA Club. These are clubs under Femina Hip Organization, whose most of the work is to promote sexual reproductive health, education, civic empowerment, and other stuffs. So there are more than right now I can say more than 2,000 clubs in secondary schools in Tanzania. By then there were like 1,500 clubs, and it was in 2017, 2015, and now in 2016, the leaders of the club, they did not do any like elections or anything. So that the leaders sat and chose, um, the people who they would like for them to take up on the roles of being leaders of the club. So they appointed me as the chairperson of the club. I was shocked because I couldn't see myself as a person who could be able to lead a club on a position of a chairperson. But I think they saw something in me, and because of maybe my energy, volunteering spirit, and being able to mobilize people and the community. So from there, we did several activities that year. I remember we had charity programs to the elderly around the school. We went to hospitals to clean. We had environmental activities inside the school. We had school bonanzas where we were able to bring students from different schools. We had a blood drive at the school. It was the first blood drive at the school, and several other activities. And from then, we were able to be named the best club of the year in 2016. So after completing my advanced secondary school studies, I went now to the university. I was in University of Dar es Salaam Business School, And there in my first year, I got the chance again to volunteer with the organization, and we were doing several activities, including visiting the clubs in Dar es Salaam. And I had like 13 clubs to visit every month. So you can see I was studying, and yet I had this volunteering activity, but I was able to, manage my time well. And we had done amazing projects, amazing activities. And again, I was chosen, the chairperson of the volunteering team, and we were like 15. So then in that year, 2018, it was in October, yes. So we have this event. It was the first event, actually. It's called the CSOs Week, the Civil Society Organizations Week, which is being organized by the Foundation for Civil Society, the organization that I'm working for right now. So you could see how you could connect the dots of how I started and where I am today. And it was the first event, and the organization I was volunteering with, Femina Hip, was attending this event, and I was chosen to be the exhibitor during the event. It was a one-week event, and the Foundation for Civil Society, which was the main organizer of the event, was also, the coordinator or the host of the Giving Tuesday Tanzania. So I came to know about FCS, Foundation for Civil Society, and Giving Tuesday Tanzania through that event. So I followed the Foundation for Civil Society social media accounts. When you're interested in these things, you become acquainted and interested in, and you follow everything that surrounds the sector. So after the event, 1 week, they shared about, the competition of the My Giving Story competition. And the competition was married to, collect stories of how you have been giving back to your community. And looking back at my, my individual life, the activities I've done, and, my leadership abilities. So I wrote my story. It was, I was in my first year, and it was a bit shabby, in terms of a bit of grammar and, putting together some words. But I was able to put, the pictures of the things I've done. So it was quite an essay. So, I shared my volunteering journey, how I helped people, how I helped the elderly, how I helped the students at the school, and my activities in the club, even after completing my my advanced of school, my giving blood, the blood drives, because I was also donating blood, and several other initiatives and activities that I'd done. And so the winners were announced on Giving Tuesday of 2018. And we were 5. And ideally, I did not know if I could win the first, and yet be the first winner. Because when you are sharing or you're writing a story, you're also posting on your social media. So I was also going through the hashtags of my giving story of that year, and you could find amazing stories from people. Others are working, others are doing big things, others are directors of non-profit organizations, and they were doing an amazing job. So I'm not sure what the judges saw in me that they named me the first winner of the competition, but I can say that was my can I say it was my turning point, or I'm trying to find a word that fits there. But since then, I've been part of Giving Tuesday Tanzania, and I've been a volunteer since then. And in 2021, I was now part of the Foundation for Civil Society team, and this was because of my involvement in Giving Tuesday Tanzania. And last year, I was given a role to lead the Giving Tuesday Tanzania movement. And this year, we were able to to start and run and complete the My Giving Story 2023. So I can say, from winning the first competition to running the second competition. So it has been a very interesting journey. I love it every day. When I look back at my, my journey, my movements, the initiatives I've done, I can say that I did a great job. And from the stories we received this year, amazing people are doing youth are doing an amazing job in the communities. It's just that we can just highlight five winners, but the stories were amazing. I think the judges did a great job, and they had a very tough job to choose these the five winners that we've got. So even after getting the winners, we said we should also support them in terms of them doing something on Giving Tuesday and us being part of their journey, because we know the importance of supporting the youth, because I was supported and they saw a potential in me, and I think I couldn't
Amazing.
be here if I wasn't supported by the organization, and for them
True.
to groom me to who I am today. Yeah.
So this has been quite the journey. You
Yeah.
are a generous soul, Daniel. This is
Mm.
amazing. Okay, Mwenya, let's talk about my giving story. I mean,
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, let's talk about it.
so in South Africa, you've launched the competition. Tell me how is it going so far?
Yeah, first I want to say what an amazing journey, Daniel, like truly, from being the first winner and now leading. It's really incredible how the word and the movement of generosity just flows, and eventually you find yourself, it's it's like breathing,
Yeah.
and I was really so interested while listening to your story. So once again, congratulations for all that you've done. Yes, going back to what you said, but I mean, yes, we have launched. We are really, really excited to launch the My Giving Story campaign. And we just want to hear kindness, generosity, feel good stories that ordinary South Africans have been doing throughout the year. And any acts of volunteerism that you've been doing, we are so excited and we really want to hear about it. So yeah, we've launched, and the campaign will go on until the 3rd of December. And reason being for that is just to give a really good special time for people to continue to tell their stories, and also for them to not feel rushed by the 28th, but also to understand that it's more than the 28th. It's more than just my Giving Tuesday. It's actually just about us spreading good stories that have happened throughout the year. So the campaign has been running. It will run until the 3rd of December. We are really, really excited and thankful for all the partners that have jumped on board and now have given us 10,000 rand. So 10,000 rand that will be given to a non-profit that is doing good out there. And we are really excited. I think the stories that we are getting in, and we continue to get in, is that generosity, kindness, volunteerism is there. It's in South Africa. We are doing good each and every day. So yeah, I think it's been an interesting journey for the team, and it's been an interesting journey for the team in terms of just how putting all the things together, but reading the stories and hearing the feedback that is coming in, it's so worth it. So worth it.
I wish you could tell me some stories, but I know I have to be patient, and I'm honestly
You have to
excited.
be patient, yes, and I also want our judges to be fair.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank you so much, Mwenya. Daniel, I'm coming back to you. Let's touch on the impact of personal giving stories on community development. I mean, I want to believe that in Tanzania, community development is deeply intertwined in the culture of giving. So, how
Yeah.
have you seen? I mean, you're an example, to be honest, but could you share, how personal stories of giving influence and shape community development efforts across the country?
Um, yeah. I think first from I can start maybe sharing from the stories or the campaign we had done this year. And our objectives of running, the My Giving Story this year was first to promote the culture of giving in the country. We know we're givers, but we want to make it, robust, but also to showcase and share to people different trends and methods of giving, on how people could give in several ways. There are more than 1,000 ways to give, and also we tried to create a platform for young people to share their stories, and to show others that young people can, be part of the development of their community through giving. And also, it was to empower and inspire other youth who are not, doing community activities, to be part of the community activities. So I can say, from the question, how it shapes the community development efforts in the country, I can say that the young people are doing a great job, and our campaign was merely focused on youth from 15 to 35 years of age. So the inspiration from the stories, and when they were sharing their stories on social media, it empowered others to be part, of the community activities that they were doing. And when they were showcasing what they were doing, for those who were not, or for those who thought that doing something small is not something good, or they could not do something like that, it shows them that they could do, amazing things with the small stuff they had. We had stories for a person who was just, going to see children who were orphans. He did not have anything, but he just went there and spent time with the children, making stories, and spent sometimes almost the whole day there, eating with the children, and offering, some, could be, emotional support, or just making stories with them, showing them that he is part of their journey, and he can share his time with them. That was amazing. There are others who, when you're passing on the roads, you find the people who are there, and they ask for some things. So after seeing that, he mobilized his friends, and they had, some small baskets, and when they were passing through the roads, they were giving these people, their help. So at some point, it may not really contribute to the economy of the country, but at some point in your specific community, you're doing an amazing job, and you create a very an impactful activity to the ones you're helping. Yeah.
Absolutely. I mean, Daniel, you saw me writing, right? Something
Yeah.
small is something big.
Yeah.
Ooh,
I'm serious
that's
because
a good line.
yes,
Yeah.
and, and
Yeah.
and just so you know, guys, the extraordinary generosity, the ordinary extraordinary generosity campaign is actually on. So this is to let you know that we are here to celebrate your small acts.
Mm,
that's what I'm looking for. That's what I want to
Yeah.
hear. That's what I want the world to know. What's happening in small villages and communities, how we band
absolutely.
together to, solve our own problems. And I feel like in the long run it does contribute to the economy of a country even.
Absolutely. It
Right.
absolutely does.
I love how Mwenya is saying absolutely, absolutely, because I'm coming to you, Mwenya. Let's talk about let's talk about
There,
social media. I know you understand social media. I know you
but
do.
here and there.
So social media is dynamic. I feel like social media is also experimental. Things are changing almost every day, every second. But in terms of for advocacy and engagement, in your role, how have you harnessed the power of social media platforms to, broaden? your reach, deepen the impact of Giving Tuesday's initiatives in South Africa?
I think you said it very well. That social media is forever changing. You actually just can't keep up. And today it's Facebook, tomorrow it's Instagram, next week it's TikTok, the other week it's something else. But I think the important thing is to understand the platforms that you're on, who is on them, and how do you talk to them. So the people that you talk to on Instagram, they may follow you on another platform such as Facebook or TikTok, but they may not want to see the same thing. So, how we leverage social media is ensuring that we tell stories, all it's the same story, but all in a dynamic way to fit that audience in on social media. So when we put up reels, we put it differently on Facebook, because as much as they are intertwined, maybe the Facebook community wants to see more pictures and stuff. So I think you need to understand who's following you on those social media platforms, and how do you speak to them, what do they want to see. One thing I love about our social media and just giving in general, the Giving Tuesday and all of the hubs underneath it, is how we all tell our stories dynamically in the countries that we're in, um, from Tanzania to Uganda to South Africa to Kenya. I think we all leverage it differently. I was actually on social media this morning and I was seeing how Malawi is talking about their campaign, and they're talking about it and they telling the story and giving us insight from professionals because they are running a campaign that speaks to mental health. So I think we need to understand what our audience wants to see on social media and then give them that exactly. And when it comes to Giving Tuesday, South Africa, we understand that our audience wants to hear from other organizations, organizations that they know very well. So we partner with organizations like the Trevor Noah Foundation, but we also partner with organizations that you won't hear very well, like the Hanley Foundation, and we try to tell all those stories because all of them are impactful in their own way. And the way we tell them is to amplify their voices, but also um, to showcase them differently on each platform. So we're going to give you a reel on Instagram, but we're going to give you a few photos on Facebook. We might write a quick tweet on X. So it's all about how we leverage that and what they want to hear. So I think it's always exciting from our our side, from South Africa. We love when people engage. Engagement is everything on social media. But I think it's the most it's the most powerful when someone has engaged and really understands the story of that movement, that foundation, that NGO. It's not just a heart, it's a how do I get involved, it's a where do I start, it's a how can I help. Those are when you've really leveraged social media powerfully.
Thank you. Absolutely. I was saying that I love it when people, I mean, even if we get just one person sending us a DM or sending us an email and say, "Hey guys, I saw this post and I feel like I would love to be a part of what you do." I smile. I get really
I
excited. I'm like,
smile too,
"Oh
but me, I also
Yeah.
yeah.
smile. We both smile.
Yeah." Okay, so I'm gonna be asking questions, and you both can share your insights, your opinions on this. So, I want to touch on my giving story and youth perceptions of philanthropy. I feel like my giving story competition holds a mirror to the evolving landscape of philanthropy, especially among the youth. How do you think that this initiative has reshaped the way younger generations in Africa, most importantly, view and engage in acts of generosity? Also, are there notable changes in their participation and approach to giving as a result of this competition? Monia, let's start from you and then Daniel can speak.
I was waiting for Daniel because I'm going to take from Tanzania. Um, but I think, okay, I think that the youth, we live in a world today where the youth understand their power and they're very quick with it. So I'm not waiting till I'm 25 to make a difference. When I'm 16, I have a phone, I have access, I understand the world, my environment, my community. I'm going to do something about it. Kind of
Right.
thing. And I love the story that Daniel told in Tanzania,
Yeah.
they saw a problem, and instead of just ignoring it and driving past, because in all countries there are street children, unfortunately, there are homeless people, unfortunately, and instead of driving past and doing nothing, they actively did something on their own, and they did something that would not only impact that community, but they impacted that person's mindset to say,
Yeah.
I see you as much as you want to be seen. So I think the youth of today they see what they see everything that's happening, number one, and number two, they approach it in a way of, I am going to see you and see a problem and find a solution, which I actually love. You know, they're not going to wait until someone can tell them there's a
Absolutely.
solution. They're actually going to find a solution on their own, and whether it's individually or it's in a group or it's a whole movement, they feel that it's upon themselves to
Yeah.
change their environment
Right.
and their community and their country. So I really love my giving stories from the youth, because I saw a problem, this is how I acted, and once I acted like this on my own, I decided I'm not the only one that sees this problem. It's not only here in my little hometown. It could be in big times, it could be in the whole city, it could be in the whole country. How do I rally up more people? And
True.
that's the power, I guess, of being young. Is just understanding that I'm not going to wait around and sit around. I'm actually going to do something, and my small will become great. The one thing that you have to never underestimate about the youth is that they know that the small today will become great.
When yeah, my small will become great. So I'm literally
Mm.
writing that down. Daniel,
Thank you.
so you are like an embodiment of what it means to be a youth and in generosity, in philanthropy. I mean,
Mm,
you've been doing these things on your own. You've rallied people. You've facilitated. You've done your own campaigns way before being a part of Giving Tuesday, and now here we are. So can you also speak to this question, how you think my
Yeah.
giving story, because you're a product of my giving story, if you ask me, how do you think this initiative has reshaped or can reshape the way younger generations give and can change their approach to giving?
I loved the first I see you from Mwenya. I love the word from Avatar. I see you. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
yes. Oh, you got the reference. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Nice. 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 Yeah. So I think we received 66 stories this year, and they were all amazing. And in all stories, most of them you can find individuals, as young people mobilizing others, for a different cause. So at some point they identify the problem, and they mobilize other people, and they go and address this challenge. It may not they may not fully address it, as young people, but at some point, they help on a certain way to address the challenge. So first is being inspired, as individuals, and as a community, when they collect, and they mobilize others to be part of their initiatives. But also, I think it encourages creativity. you know when sharing these stories, but also being part of the community, being part of an initiative, you're you're gaining a lot, and you become creative on how to address an activity better. Like I can say, from the first win of the My Giving story, you can find on how she wrote the story. in every activity she had done, there was a different approach on approaching the challenge she found in the community. So you can see how when sharing now these stories to others, they can get um, different kinds of methods or trends on how they could address a certain problem, and again being empowered. And I can say one of the great impact is networking and connections. I can say from me personally, I can take an example. The Giving to the Tanzania and the My Giving story has been a great platform for me to who I am today. So I can say maybe if FCS could not do that competition on the first time, maybe I could not be here speaking to you, Bidemi and Mwenya right now, but also sharing this with the whole audience that will be part of this podcast. Yeah.
Right, right, absolutely. I think this competition hits me in different ways. First, it's how so you know how big organizations, it's intentional, the storytelling, the video production, for example, you know we know there is that. But when people share how they thought of something and then called their friends to do something in their own little corner, I feel it's really inspiring. And that's something my giving story does. I mean, it's there, my giving story, what I have done. And also the sense of community that comes with it. I also notice that most times nobody ever does this thing alone. Fine, you might come up with this idea of finding the solution to a problem in your community, but you end up not doing it alone. You end up seeing people wanting to be a part of what you're doing as well. And I really think that is inspiring. So now I want us to speak on the fact that you both have done two successful competitions. I know South Africa is still, you're still doing your second contest, but I know it's gonna be successful. I believe in you, Mwenya. It definitely will be. So could we share
Thank you.
strategies, like what's the secret to having a very great contest? What strategies have contributed to the effectiveness of this competition in Tanzania and South Africa? So Daniel, I want you to start because you just
Yes,
said
I
that
want to know
yours
the
was
secret sauce of how
beautiful.
to be a winner. Yes.
The secret of how to be a winner is you have to be a giver, you know.
Oh, wow, that's very true.
Though everyone is a giver.
Mm,
But now, in my giving story, apart from being a giver, you should also be able to tell your story. You know, being you, putting yourself at the forefront and sharing what you have done. One of the I can say the challenge of most of the people is fear and lack of confidence, but also issues around privacy. Because in an African way, and how we were raised is like what you're giving on your right hand, your left hand shouldn't know. But in terms of now that we want to document these stories, we need to be vulnerable and share what we have done. People are doing an amazing activities, but they wouldn't want to share them. But they don't know that when they share it, others can gain a lot from their stories, but also get inspired and empowered to go and contribute what they have to the community. So I can say in our case that the secret of running two successful campaigns is first having a great team on because it's a big work, having first the idea,
it is a
having
lot of work.
a lot of
Yes.
work, and so having a great team is very key. Like you have different activities and you assign those activities to your team, but also apart from that is I can say clear objectives that we want to do this because of this and this. So we're not running it as just an activity, but we really meant to do this kind of thing. So you can see the first the competition was in 2018 and the second was in 2023. So why we did not do at the middle, I'm not sure. But I joined FCS in 2021, and this year we said we really need to do um, this
Giving
competition
stories.
again. So yes, clear objectives. Apart from that, is I think most of the youth are nowadays digital savvy. So you really need to have a digital presence, of your organization, but also being able to have clear communication on how to get the young people. Because apart from
Right.
sharing the messages on social media, we launched the competition on the Tanzania Philanthropy Forum, which was happening here in September. So there were many young people at that forum. So we used um, that forum as a platform to launch our campaign. And something else would be community involvement. Being there and
Right.
sharing your message, but also inspiring the young people to share their stories. Others were not really, you know, uh, yes, because of fear and lack of confidence, they were not um, acquainted a lot with sharing their stories. But at some point, when you tell them the impact, of them sharing their stories, they did, and we received great stories. At some point, we would really like to document, the 10 best stories. But for now, we will document the 5 stories and what they will be doing on Giving Tuesday. So get set. I think after Giving Tuesday could be maybe after a week or two, we'll have a digital documentation of the My Giving Story winners, how were their stories, but also what they have done on Giving Tuesday. Yeah,
Yay! Love it, love it, love it. Thank
yeah,
you so much, Mwenya and Daniel. Oh my goodness, this has been interesting, and I really, really
yeah.
hope that everyone realizes that they can pick this up, they can run with this, and I mean, but we are now uh, in a new segment. They ask the host anything. So this is a special
Oh,
segment, guys. I'm going to hand over the reins of this very amazing podcast to you both, and then you can ask me anything. You can steer this conversation in a direction that sparks your curiosity. Right? Right? Okay. I'm not
okay. I'm
When you are
excited.
not starting. Daniel, you can ask me a question first.
No. Okay, fine. Daniel, definitely you can go first.
Uh, I may not really have a question. Just
Yes, that's what I want.
uh,
it was good getting your email on doing this podcast, and
Oh,
from this podcast we will reach um, a lot of audience, and you never know
mm,
who the audiences might be, and they might be interested to be part of My Giving Story 2024 in
yes.
Tanzania, and be one of our partners, and see how we do an amazing activity next year, because we would really like to have this activity every year.
Absolutely.
But also something else is maybe how we take this conversation further from this podcast, and we could have other engagements. We could have this session with other Giving Tuesday leaders. Could be several other audience apart from the podcast.
Thank you, Daniel. Okay, Munya.
I guess I have lots of questions.
Okay. You only have
My first.
3.
Oh,
I,
okay.
I
At
hope
least
I,
you've
I
given
hope
me a limit.
I want to get a question from you, Munya.
Yeah, no, it's definite. No, I think you should. But I think it can be to both you and Vietnamese. I guess the future of all country leads, particularly in Africa. What do you see? Like, what is your ultimate vision? Vidami.
I would love to see active participation in all African countries. It would be nice if every year, not every year, like every day, because Giving Tuesday is not just a day. I know we all plan for the day itself, but I would love to see people taking up Giving Tuesday in their communities in different countries, in every country. Let's have, you know, a presence in all countries in Africa. That would be amazing. Yes, that would be a big flex too.
Okay. Daniel, what is your vision for all countries or for Giving Tuesday and all country leads?
For this specific Giving Tuesday, or the coming Giving Tuesdays
I guess just Giving Tuesday in general. Yes.
in general.
Yeah.
I think my vision would be, keeping on, the unity we have, and solidarity, being able to share our campaigns, what we're doing, and see how we could help each other in our campaigns. You never know; it will come at a point, maybe, Giving Tuesday Tanzania and Giving Tuesday South Africa have one, campaign of My Giving Story,
Yeah.
Absolutely.
or we could have My Giving Story in Africa, and have, we
Mm,
have different countries,
Hmm.
and so that could be something
That could
interesting
be
and
something.
good to have.
that could
Yeah,
be amazing.
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I guess my second question is um when the goal of generosity is achieved in your country, what
Hmm.
next? Daniel?
What do you mean by the goal of your the generosity goal? Could there be a generosity goal? That's an interesting, you know. uh, we, 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 we we never had a generosity goal. So because
Okay.
generosity cannot be what measured, or maybe we for Giving Tuesday, maybe we had a cause and we went to address it. Now maybe we say what
Okay.
next after doing such an activity. So for us in Giving Tuesday Tanzania, we have been running different campaigns every year, and it's not that because we feel that we have been able to solve the last year's challenge, no, but we would want to, touch different people's lives in different sectors. So from the past years, we have done activities on environment and climate. We have done skills fairs to students in universities. We have gone to children suffering from spina bifida and hydrocephalus. We have gone to children with people with students with disabilities. We have done blood drives. So we have different activities in every year, just to spread our, our campaigns, our wings, to touch different people. And in Tanzania, it's not just us who are doing, activities on Giving Tuesday. We are also coordinating with other, NGOs and the private sectors who are doing also activities on Giving Tuesday. Yeah.
Mwenya,
Vidami? Oh, yes.
if we were to achieve our mission of generosity, where, and by this I mean everyone in Nigeria is kind to each other,
Mm-hmm.
a world where women are not seen as commodities, women are not given out in marriage in exchange for material relief, especially in the northern part of the country. You know those movies where they say, and they lived happily ever after? That is next. Because I don't know, my goodness, imagining a world like that, that would be a dream come true. And I want
That's
that to
amazing.
happen. Yeah. Yeah. But we
That's
do not have
amazing.
enough time. I'm not taking any more questions when you tend to ask difficult questions. So no more questions from you. But
I just want to say
really,
finally, thank you so much, Bidemi. From South Africa, we really appreciate the invite, and I think it's been such an insightful conversation. Thank you, Daniel.
oh,
I've
thank
learned
you.
so much, a lot of gems that we can take into our
Yeah.
current campaign that we're running and campaigns that we will run. So thank you so much. Thank you to the Ubuntu Giving podcast.
Oh, thank you so much. So, guys, thank you, Daniel and Mwenya. Thank you. Now I'm thanking both of you for, accepting this invite, for being here, for, making this podcast a really fun one. And to our listeners out there, we are wrapping up this enlightening episode, and we hope you've been deeply moved by the discussions brought to light today. We've seen how giving stories from Tanzania to South Africa can spark a wave of change. We've seen it change lives. We've seen it literally change the career direction of, people. So let this inspire you to share your story with us today. You can find us across different social media platforms as Giving Tuesday Africa, or you can connect with us via email, um, africa@givingtuesday.org. Until next time, this is the Ubuntu Giving Podcast. Keep the spirit of giving thriving, the sparks of generosity alive in every story you tell and in every action you take. Bye, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.